Ruse Radio.
It's just easy to guide people the wrong way because people are more moldable than you'd think, you know? Like, I think everything's kind of like low-grade hypnosis, and you're always kind of being hypnotized by things in ways you don't even realize, and that's another form of that, right? Like, you get hypnotized by this person online telling you, like, that's why self-help people are so successful, and I think that's why, like, megachurch people exist, like these megachurch pastors that people believe this bullshit when they're telling you they can cure, they can cause miracles and cure you, and meanwhile they're just making a bunch of money. Like, these people exist, and you'd think, well, how could somebody like con people like that? But it's because people want to believe something. Everybody wants to believe something, and then people like hypnotize you into believing whatever the thing is, and then you join a cult. And that's how it works. And we're all kind of in cults in a way, and so
definitely.
Like, everybody's got their own cult. I really think that you got one whether you like it or not.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was watching. It's funny because I was watching the Cowboys documentary on Netflix.
I haven't seen it. What's it called? Is it called, like, is it the Wild West one and the West one?
Yeah, something like that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And I remember this because, and I'm not like super into the Cowboys. I recently have got way more into football in the last couple of years. But I remember when the Last Dance came out. I watched that like everybody in the city and loved it. Watched it over and over. It was amazing. And I was like, fuck it, that's like the greatest thing I've ever seen. Then I watched the Cowboys documentary about this football team in the 90s. You know, great dynasty and all that shit. But the whole time watching this shit and they're glorifying these people and just fucking blowing these people and like singing their praises to the heaven. And I had the first time I thought to my life, I go, oh, is football a cult? Am I a cult? Because it never hit me. Because like every documentary I've ever watched has been about Chicago, so I'm inherently bought into it. So I'm not thinking about how much they're like it's so much glaze for these people. I watched it for another team that I don't give a fuck about. I'm like, oh, I think this is all a fucking cult. I think I'm fucking in the fucking cult of fucking sports. I'm like, these people, like, the way I'm like, it hit me, I'm like, these people are really talking super highly of a bunch of men who fucking catch a ball. Like, you would thought these people cure fucking cancer, how they're fucking glorifying these guys. And like, and once again, this is a guy who watched The Last Dance repeatedly and didn't think anything about it. I was like, dude, he shoots a ball into the net. It's nothing more, nothing less. Yeah. And I'm like, no, he's the greatest person to walk this planet. Then I watched it from a perspective of I don't give a fuck. I'm like, man, this is a lot of fucking hype for a kid's game that is low-key taking years off their lives.
Yeah, it's weirder from the outside looking in, I would say. Because, like, for some reason, I've never gotten into sports, and I've always had that second perspective. I've always kind of looked at sports and been like, I just don't understand. Because in my mind, it's like, I could have been born anywhere. So the fact that I'm born here and I care about this team, to me, doesn't make sense unless like you want to like have a group identity and you want to like bond with everybody and this is your way of bonding with everybody and being a part of a group. Like, to me that makes sense, but like beyond that, I just don't get why people would give so much of a fuck if their sports team wins or loses, because you don't have any influence on it. It doesn't matter. Now people are gambling, and so it kind of does matter, and they are emotionally part of the game, but in a whole different way that's kind of like antithetical to sports to me. Like, I think if you're upset about a team losing or like losing a parlay, you're not really enjoying football for like football anymore. Now you're like gambling and you're watching the game with like all these weird conditions, and that's like not the way to enjoy it.
And I got so many takes on that, but it was one thing I also want to say, because I agree with you. That's kind of how I feel about religion. I'm not a religious guy anymore. I grew up very religious. I'm still spiritual. I still believe in a God and a higher power. But the thing about religion is, I came from a very religious Christian background, and the one thing I realized when I talked to some of my family about it, and they're like all like they know for a fact that this is the right way, and they consistently, I don't say this to them, but consistently hits me like, dude, do y'all not realize you guys feel this way because you was born on the south side of Chicago, and my grandparents, and they're, for them, Mississippi in the South, and like, you know, if you grew up in this East Africa, you'd be probably Muslim or something like that, or if you grew up in fucking in any of the Asian countries, you'd probably be like Hindu or
you're a product of your surroundings.
Yeah, and the fact that people can't even kind of comprehend that to me is very interesting.
Yeah,
and like
it's a good thought experiment. Like, what if I was born at this time in this place? Yeah. Like, how different would I be? Yeah. Would I be myself, or would I be a whole different? It's like a nature versus nurture thing in a way. Like, if I was the same person but in this whole different place, would I still be me? Because it's hard to tell.
Exactly.
You don't really know how much your conditions and your surroundings have formed you until you really think about it. And it's probably a million times more than you'd like to admit, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You are a product of your surroundings.
Which is why I try to have like a little grace for people who are older than me. Like, you know, I don't think
it was a different world.
It was a different world.
Yeah.
And a lot of people probably don't mean to be bigots. They probably don't even think they are being bigots. Now, I'm not trying to defend bigotry, and I do think people should grow and change. But you have to be fair. Like, it is a thing. Like, these standards were not the standards I grew up with. The standards I grew up with, I was actually the most progressive guy. I used to fucking. I had all my homies who were like my homies, all my homies had Mexican friends. You know?
Yeah. That's funny because the standards really are that different. Like what was progressive in the 60s can be like offensive now. And they think they're being cool.
They think they're being so cool.
They're down with it, you know. They're trying to show you.
They don't even know like they're a part of the problem. But but that's another thing. We don't have enough conversations with people.
Yeah.
We're so quick to demonize people for like small things. It's like, you know, people make mistakes. People say things you shouldn't.
Well, I think so. I think like the thing is, what I think is like if you were to look at that in like a spiritual perspective, which I think like in my music and everything, I think one of my goals in life would be, I think we should look at things through a spiritual perspective. That's the right way to look at things, is that you're not perfect, and spiritually you change and you find the right way all the time, and you say the wrong things, and that's how you figure out what the right things are. We all experience that. We all know what that is. So if you understand that in yourself, I just don't understand why we then project this perfection onto other people and expect perfection on other. Like, you know, you're not perfect. We all know that because we all are not perfect.
Exactly.
So how could you ever expect someone else to always do the right things? And I think that's why you would then, in a way, you should guide people the right way so that you can guide yourself the right way, and you should all just orient yourself towards that rather than expect other people to do the right thing, because you're not expecting yourself to do the right thing. Like,
Exactly.
you should expect the same thing out of both of you. It's like, you try to get people to do the right thing as you try to get yourself to do the right thing.
Let thou without sin cast the first stone.
Yeah.
I believe a famous black guy once said that.
Which one?
Jesus.
My favorite.
Big fan of the Jesus guy.
Been too long, I don't think I could face it. In the corner with my mask on.